Good evening. Welcome to the HMG, also known as Four Bald-Head Dudes and a Drunk Dude with a Flask.
We're here.
HMG show.
We want to welcome y'all. It's 10 o'clock. We want to thank you for spending the night with us and let us tuck you in. The whole crew is here. Everybody can introduce themselves.
Yeah, J City. It's gonna be a great one.
It's your boy Bug.
And that's Bug.
Juice.
And it's the president.
No signature?
No.
Yow.
Okay, and last but not least, it's your man Swerve, the cool ruler.
AKA Jamaica man. Not wearing the
Hussein
outfit
Bolt.
today.
Crush on Hussein Bolt.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
That's all good.
Hey, listen, I just give the appropriate level of respect
As you
to
must.
certain things. And we're going to get into appropriate level of respect.
Yeah.
Because as you all know, the Colin Kapernick thing has been all over the news. You know you're going to get our take this week.
Mhm.
But before we jump into the show,
Mhm.
there's some things I want to do. I have an exercise that I do from time to time.
Some calisthenics.
It's a mental exercise.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's fun to do if you have the ability to be creative and to use your third eye, which is your mind.
I do.
And you have an imagination. So what I like
I
to do
don't.
when I'm out and about, walking around, driving, doing whatever I have to do, I like to envision people, mostly women, in their prime,
Oh.
older women,
Ooh.
and wonder when their time was, how they might have looked in their prime.
Trying to guesstimate.
Trying to guesstimate with if they was a shit back in the day or not, or if they ever had a prime. Because some women look so rough. Yeah, I'm sorry to say, but some women age to a point where you might have questioned if they ever had a peak phase.
Yeah, but
It's a little bit easier with dudes to envision what they look like in their prime because old black men are funny if they haven't lost their hair.
well,
Because wherever their prime was,
what you trying to
they'll
say?
keep the same haircut.
Okay.
So if their prime was 1987, they might still rock that box, the little short box joint. They're only the same barber can cut.
I'm about to take it back to 96.
Hey, listen.
Oh, that was her year.
I'm
96.
about to take it back to 96.
So next time you guys are out and about, just have a little fun. Look at somebody,
Damn.
male or female.
Really don't need to be out and about. I mean, my job, I love my job. My job is great. But I have some older women at my job where, oh my goodness, man. I just know that
Used to
back
be
in the
something.
day,
Back in
What?
88.
because they still are now.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Isn't it fun though?
But like, hey, just the
To
way
look
they
at it and
just the
wonder.
way they carry themselves. Like, I don't even know.
Hey,
I
Juice,
probably
why are you looking like you disgusted?
prefer them now.
I'm just listening.
Oh, okay. You look like
I didn't know.
nah, that face.
My face is it's pleasing to you. It's okay.
It's too bright in here for Juice, so Juice is wearing the sunshade.
Yeah.
There's just some women that's Lord, man. Goodness, man.
Used to be something.
They're gonna be good.
And it's a much better game and a much safer game to play it that way than look at little girls and project them into the future.
Well,
that would make you a
just
pervert.
pedophilia.
No, I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying. We do it. We're gonna go back.
I mean,
in time.
when you
Please, thank
when
you.
you talk when you say teenage, what you mean by teenage?
Okay, Kelly.
If there's nothing else, we have a lot to get to today, so we might want to jump into the news. So if you guys don't have anything you want to say,
Oh,
now before we get into the news, City, before you do your thing, for those of you who are new to us, we do this thing called News You Can Use or Lose. It's actually a game that we use clickbait, where we read the headline, and the panel here votes as to whether or not you get the storyline. So it's 5 of us. So I have the ability to break all ties. Okay, so now City, if you do the honors,
Wait,
please.
I get 2 votes.
Yeah, but we don't
You
need
still
to
on
do
this
this
business,
anymore,
man. You don't
City.
get 2 votes, man.
City, we don't need to do that anymore.
This is what you signed up for.
This is the news that you could use or lose.
Thank you so much for that great introduction, City.
It's not great. You keep sicing them. That's why I keep doing it every week.
Yeah,
That shit
I can't
angers
encourage
me.
my black brother.
I do
That
my own
shit
sound
angers
effects.
me to no end.
Hey, you can buy my sound effects for 99 cents a piece.
what app is that?
They'll
At
soon be on
TikTok. At
iTunes
TikTok.
or at the drive-through at
At the
TikTok.
same place
Yeah.
Juice got that flask.
Royal Farms. You can
Yeah,
get 2
Royal
pieces of
Farms.
chicken and an intro song.
And a bread. Okay, first story. DC is getting an all-male burlesque brunch.
lose.
Lose.
Those.
Lose.
All right.
Goodness gracious.
Lose.
We're not interested.
Okay.
Is it
That was an
obvious?
interesting story, though.
Yeah. Well, read it.
Man, of
Next
course.
story.
You think so?
Philadelphia tells residents, don't swim in dumpster pools.
Hughes.
Lose.
I mean, that's just like a ghetto swimming pool. man.
Use.
Okay, that's 2-2.
Yeah.
And since I selected the story, it's a use.
You see, this is why that the fundamental rules of the game are unfair.
And why is that?
Because you choose the stories. You're always going to choose use.
Yeah, I am.
Well, just read the story then.
Okay. This is courtesy of
In about 30 seconds,
NBCPhiladelphia.com.
you're gonna wish you would have chose lose.
We'll see. Let's go.
Philadelphia is urging residents not to swim in dumpsters after rented trash bin was filled with fire hydrant water and transformed into a pool. The online news site, Billy Penn, first reported the shenanigans at a weekend block party. The party organizers told the site
10
they
more
power
seconds.
washed the dumpster, lined the bottom with plywood and tarps, and cushioned the corners with pool noodles.
It didn't take 30 seconds. It was about 10 seconds, and I wish I lost it. Why are people swimming in the dumpsters?
I mean, if you go to our
You're from
Facebook fan
Philadelphia.
page, you'll be able to see the article. We'll post them all there.
Right.
And the picture of it
Yeah,
looks
the picture of
kind of like, I wouldn't do it, but I mean, they look like
But
they're
it's a
having time of
dumpster.
their life. It was a
Well,
dumpster.
Why would
gotta
you
do what
swim in a
gotta
dumpster?
do, though, man.
You do what
I'm
you got to
going to
do to
Philly.
have fun, man. In the
That's
summertime, you got to
everybody
get
swimming
creative.
pool, man, they-
Swim in a... Wait, hold on. Stop. Wait. Why are we swimming in a dumpster and saying
'Cause
that's
it's a
what we got to
pool.
do?
They made it look like a hot tub. It was
I
a
don't
bunch
ca-
of
it's
guys
a
and girls. and
dumpster,
what's
though.
the name of it?
It's
Listen,
a dumpster.
Listen,
The picture made it look fun.
the pictures did make it look fun. You saw it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, jumping off a cliff in Mexico looks fun,
fun,
also
yeah.
until you
For
stand
who?
on the top.
No, what?
Until you stand up and look down, right?
No,
Yeah.
what you about to do?
Jumping off that cliff at Ritz Cafe looks fun.
Yeah.
That it is
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of
it
fun.
is fun, though.
It's fun.
Shit.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Um,
Until it burns you.
Next story.
Drown.
Couples who get drunk together are happier together according to science.
Use.
Use.
Lose.
Hey, Mac, you outvoted off the break. That's 3-1.
Okay,
Okay.
my other 4 votes.
Can you
Hey.
drink enough for your
Lose.
better half?
Right. We can.
Listen to this. This is courtesy of Metro UK.
That's- okay, this gotta
According
be
to a new study published in the journals of gerontology, researchers found that couples over the age of 50 reported better marriages if both partners drank alcohol. If one partner drank and the other didn't, they were more likely to report feeling unsatisfied in their marriage,
I would suggest that
which
study.
does not bode well for me.
Okay.
The researchers surveyed
Me either, but here's
4,864 married people with couples having been together on average for 33 years to discover how drinking affects relationships. It found that the amount of people drank didn't really affect the quality of their relationships as long as neither partner was drinking to excess. It was just down to whether both partners drank or just one did.
I would like to suggest that.
for another one.
I would like to suggest that they don't have to do the study of 50 and over. I would think married couples at the age of 25, at any age, as long as they're doing whatever they're doing together, they're gonna last longer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get an alcoholic couple at 25, they're gonna last long, or
They'll
not.
be dead.
Well, they'll last till they die.
Man,
See,
they
there's
said
two
not
types
to
of
not
people.
to
There's
excess.
alcoholics and there's drunks. It's a difference.
Yeah, I know that. But what I'm saying is,
I'm a
if they're
drunk.
gonna drink together,
As long as they do it together.
A
as long as they
family
do it
that
together,
plays
at whatever
together.
age, I think they'll be all right.
Sure.
24, 25,
And
32, 31,
I
50,
think we
50,
might
11.
we might end up bearing witness to this tonight, but I can understand the one partner versus both because
Oh, yeah.
there is if you're not drinking
And
and
the
that
other one
other
is,
person
there's going to be a big
is
difference.
drunk, there
There's gonna
is
be-
nothing more obnoxious.
There's going to be a big difference.
And there's no like you can't real there's like nothing is funny. Like the
No.
sober person is not
Yeah.
gonna find
Because
the
when
drunk
the
person-
when the drunk person throws up in a toilet by himself and he's,
how many years are you gonna take
Yeah,
that, right?
exactly. So, yeah.
And then that's when they tell you gotta grow up, right?
Yeah.
Well,
By
you
now
tell,
you
you
gotta
tell the
hold
other one they got to grow up because they're not drinking.
What
Right.
if one of them is an angry drunk?
Well,
That's
then
it.
it might
That's
just
it.
it might reach domestic
any-
violence.
Are there any statistics about that?
No. Story
Oh,
done. Story done.
okay.
Last story.
Lose.
I like that quiet money.
If kids hate you, it's probably because you're ugly,
What?
Hey,
says science.
that is the God's
Use.
the honest truth.
Vote on
Vote.
the damn story
Use.
Use
with your
twice.
Pepsi ass.
Use.
with my Pepsi shirt.
Yeah.
So that's 2 votes.
For what? Used? They both used?
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen to what Matt got to say first.
Lose.
Mac is always lose.
Golly.
Lose.
What's the? Can you give me the headline again?
Okay.
Yeah, please.
If kids hate you,
Uh-huh.
it's probably because you're ugly.
It's
Use.
bad
Science
out there for
says.
ugly people.
Use.
For
But
real
let's use
study?
it.
It's
Okay.
bad for
Sorry,
ugly
man.
people.
Okay.
In this study, published in Frontiers of Psychology, researchers in China examined developmental changes in children's abilities to make trustworthiness judgments based on faces and the relationships between the child's perception of trustworthiness and facial attractiveness.
Mm.
In other words, if kids find you attractive,
They like you.
they like you and trust you. To get this conclusion, the researchers gathered 101 children aged between 8 and 12 years old, along with 37 undergraduate students. They asked participants to rate the trustworthiness of 200 neutral male faces. Then the participants judged these faces for their attractiveness. For the young adults in the study, the agreement between trustworthiness and attractiveness increased in age. For children, however, the agreement was much more consistent.
Man, they ain't had to do no study for this, man. That's an everyday thing.
Would you the expert
don't-
child person?
You
He
just
is.
don't. That's just a human being naturally, man. You just don't.
You can't trust the ugly motherfucker?
Hey, it was all.
Especially if they
It's
crying by
naturally,
your
that's
car.
That's your first.
And they out in the
That's your first
parking lot
instinct,
and they acting stupid
What
by
I
your
always
car.
tell you though,
Oh man.
hey, ugly people got a hard
Hey,
out.
it was
here.
all male in the study.
Male that they looked at.
Yeah,
Yes.
that the kids looked at.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I wonder if facial hair had anything to do with that too.
It probably
Nah.
did. It could
No,
have been
ugly is
intimidating.
Nah,
ugly.
ugly
It
is
doesn't matter
ugly,
whether you
man.
got a beard or
Ugly
not.
is ugly.
Sometimes you can
Yeah.
use your beard to cover up ugly. I did it.
You don't want to hear
When you
Boog's.
ugly, you ugly.
Yeah, you don't want to hear Boog's real opinion about ugly people.
Nah, you don't.
I
Matter of
kinda-
fact, no. Matter of
we
fact,
do.
Wait,
matter
hold
of
on, we
fact,
do?
Nah,
Boog.
they don't
No,
wanna
no,
hear
no,
that.
no.
Hold on,
Let it
we
out.
do?
This is
Let
the
it
man
out.
cave.
Hey,
It's a man
let
cave,
it out.
Boog. Tell him, Boog.
You know, we not always politically correct on this show.
No, we
never
not.
are.
Nah,
Most of
but
the
right
time
now
we
we
not,
talk about you though.
But I've always said that. And my boys kind of always laugh.
Oh,
at
yeah.
this.
Spit it out. Get it out
But,
now.
I have a thing where I've always said that ugly people are poor.
Yeah. Damn.
Damn.
Vicious.
And there you go.
Ah.
Good looking
Nah.
people is good for the most part. Good looking people, you're gonna get the benefit of the doubt. You go in a job in the field,
Yeah.
all things equal.
Mm.
Who you gonna want to represent your organization?
Hey,
Who's gonna
Boog,
get the
The
job?
ugly motherfucker
Hey,
that's
Boog.
trustworthy.
Hey, Boog is Bernie.
Honestly, that's
Boog is Bernie
what it
Mac
is.
right now.
Yeah.
Boog is
honestly,
Bernie Mac.
you go to affluent, not just the how they dress.
It's
or whatever,
difficult
just
to-
the how they look.
Hey, Juice.
Rich
Eat
people
all
are
that
good
cornbread.
looking.
Juice.
Poor
It's
people are
difficult right now, but Boog is Bernie Mac right now. He's
Well,
saying what
people
we
are-
all kind of like, really, actually, kind of agree with a
It's
little
the
bit.
truth.
Yo,
If I don't necessarily agree with Bug,
All right.
but
stop lying.
if you don't have your teeth because you're poor, you're probably ugly.
all that. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, like
Ah,
my
man.
dad says.
Ah,
it.
jeez.
This is his one
Oh,
great saying.
man.
One of his great sayings.
Oh,
Right. He
jeez.
says, "Poverty kills."
Oh, Lee. Lord
And
Jesus.
so do
That's the God's
ugly
honest
looks,
truth.
apparently.
Lord
Yeah,
Jesus.
you ugly, you poor, you die.
So
oh my.
we don't
Sick.
Wait, is that
Hey,
why?
so,
is that
so,
why-
so the
Hold
whole,
on, wait,
so to the
That
whole,
sound bad,
Yo,
man.
I need to
That
disclaimer
sound
right
bad.
now.
I'm
Go,
sorry.
no.
What
Whoa.
he thinks does not represent everybody at this.
But
at
maybe
this
that's
table.
why I'm
sorry,
not
man.
getting these jobs.
Okay,
Man.
Hey, yo, please.
Is that why I'm not
I
getting
think this
these
is a good
jobs?
time.
The
Nah,
one man
yes,
does not
hold
represent
on,
everybody.
yeah, hold
You
up.
are totally
Hold
for another
up.
reason,
Tripping,
man.
dog.
Is that why I'm not getting these
Nah,
jobs?
man.
Mac, you got all your
Because I'm
teeth.
ugly?
You
just
got all your
crazy.
teeth.
Oh,
man.
but- oh,
You
Lord,
just-
Nah,
Right.
it
You
might,
just crazy.
You just
it
psycho.
might be because you show up at people's houses in onesies and you be in the bushes. That might have something to do. But you're not getting the job because the guy to interview you, he looking in the rearview mirror
Yeah.
and you behind him.
Ouch.
That
Now,
might be why.
Now that Boog said that wonderfully
Oh, God.
controversial
Hey,
statement,
man, that was a Donald Trump statement, man.
It
feel
was.
free to call in.
And you
I'm
call-
gonna give
yeah.
you the phone number.
Yeah.
It's 301
And I'm the black
278
Yeah.
1293.
Ain't that
Yeah.
a mother?
You can call in and tell Boog just how wrong
I'm
he is
telling
or
you,
whether or
you
not
gotta
you
tell
think
the
he's
truth.
right.
You
If
gotta
you're
tell the
ugly-
reality that
Do
you're
it
ugly.
FaceTime too.
If you're
so we can
ugly,
see
call
your
in
ugly
right now.
face.
Yeah. Call in
Now,
right
we gonna
now.
hang up.
While we're
Hold on, can I call?
parsing that out, let's move on and talk about Colin Kapernick because we got some other things to get to the show. So, who wants to start? Let go.
Well, just introduce the whole
I
situation.
mean, we all
right?
know by
Okay,
now.
so it's no secret, right?
It's no secret.
Go ahead.
And unless you've been under a rock, I'll set it up. Colin Kaepernick has been choosing not to stand for the national anthem. Last weekend, it was more apparent because he was dressed to play. It was his first preseason game.
Yep.
And he just sat alone on the bench while the rest of the players stood along the sideline. So he would be out of their purview. So they wouldn't necessarily see it. The camera caught him. One of the network reporters and we get someone's calling
We
in
got a caller.
to talk about Boog's wonderful. Answer the phone. Good evening, caller. You're on with Boog.
And the HMG show.
Hello?
Hello.
Who is this?
This is one of his good-looking friends, thank God.
My man. Thank you. Thank you.
Sound like Bear.
Uh-oh.
Let me tell you something, man. You give them ugly people a chance, goddammit.
I mean, am I telling the truth or what?
They got heart and soul, all right?
Okay.
That Pepsi shirt, man, he brutal. God, hey. He brutal.
It's brutal.
Hey,
Hey, the truth hurts sometimes.
do you
man.
agree or disagree with his statement about ugly people?
Man, I agree a little bit, man. Let me tell you something. That don't mean, nothing really, man. I'm telling you what,
It
man.
does
I'm
mean
just
a lot, man. You a
first of
good-looking
all,
guy.
shout
You
out
got
to
a job,
Katy
right?
Perry behind you, looking good. Damn it.
What?
He looking at the
Oh, Katy
poster.
Perry. Hey,
Come
look,
on,
man,
man.
stop talking about the poster.
Come on,
Is there
man.
I
anything
really
else you
like
want?
that Katy Perry. We'll get back to her anyway. The problem with ugly people, I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Oh, ugly people got a problem.
Yeah,
Other than being ugly?
All right.
Yeah.
A lot of the times is they try to be friends with the good-looking folks, and unless you bringing something to the table, funny, good boning, you shouldn't be around us, man. All right?
Oh,
You shouldn't be around us.
So you a good-looking dude?
Yeah, well, listen, the only reason why I'm friends with Boog is I'm decent looking. You know that.
because apparently we see how Boog picks his friends. So we should all be flattered sitting up here on this panel and you calling in. Is that correct?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right.
The one difference, let's be honest, you don't have to be fine if you're a chick. All right?
No, you don't.
Oh, all
No.
right.
All right, let's get back to the girls for a minute.
Yeah,
Yes,
please
the
do.
good-looking guys make it happen, but the girls, the mediums make it happen. Why? They bone better.
All right.
All right.
All right, caller.
They
Thank
work
you.
harder. You know this.
Hey, look.
We in the man cave. We can talk about
Okay,
it.
okay.
They
You know what?
work
I'm gonna
harder.
Hey,
co-sign
caller.
on this.
Caller, they putting in work.
I'm gonna
They putting in
co-sign
work.
on Bear's statement only because a pretty girl never had to hold a guy just with her vagina.
No.
Her face is enough to keep a guy there.
Same out from Frederick, and I'm going to tell you this right now. The good-looking fools, they dominate the world. The mediocre chicks make it happen.
Hey,
Hey, no
All
doubt.
right, thanks,
True-
caller. Thanks for
true
calling.
story.
in.
Hey, man, good
True
luck
story.
tonight.
Yeah, all
Love
right.
the show, man. Love the show.
All right,
Hey.
thanks.
Holla.
All right.
Holla.
and love you. Yeah, how about that?
Okay, so speaking of ugly, mediocre chicks, and well, we weren't. This is not a segue.
No.
Colin Kaepernick
As
I wanna
ugly as
segue
the
for
chick you could ever see.
sitting on the bench
Uh-huh.
decides to make his statement when asked. He chose the time to speak up, and he basically said, and I quote, "I'm not going to stand up and show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. To me, this is bigger than football, and it'd be selfish on my part to look the other way. There are bodies in the street and people getting paid, leave, and getting away with murder."
I feel like this is gonna take us to the end of the
That's
show,
it?
so let's
Well,
go.
let me say this first before I go
Kick
into
it off.
my little
Kick it off.
tirade.
Yeah,
Do you need to have a
get
sip
on your
before you go,
soapbox.
I love this country.
Yes.
Yes.
I ride with this country, but America be on some bullshit. The Star Spangled Banner was written by Francis Scott Key, and this was shortly after the War of 1812. You can Google it. I think it might be like 1814 when he wrote the song. The song actually didn't become the song for the United States until 1931.
Right.
Mhm.
So the song isn't a bedrock per se of our nation, as is the First Amendment to freedom of speech,
Right.
which is protected by the Constitution, like what Kaepernick is exercising. So, and the third stanza, the one we don't sing, is actually very, very racist. And I'll paraphrase it. It's something like, if the slave escapes captivity, the slave won't escape death. And you can Google this. This is not, I'm not just pulling this shit out.
No problem.
But basically, I say that to say, maybe we need to rethink the pre-game ceremony.
Oh, that's not happening.
And no. But what all I'm saying is, and this is like kind of like the definition of white privilege. You'll have Colin Kaepernick that'll tell you that America is not great, and motherfuckers are burning his jersey, calling him all kinds of names, telling him to leave the country. And then on the other end, you'll have someone like Donald Trump that tells you America isn't great, and he very well might be our next president.
Yeah.
But I mean,
That kind of
That's
shit.
pretty
to me,
much that's
it's
the epitome
all-
of
it's
it.
always
that shit stuns me about America.
why does it stun you?
Well, because I'm thinking at this point in time, like I always think of uneducated people as the people who are racist and the people who are overly prejudiced.
Mhm.
Those tend to be the ugly people, the poor people, the
Right.
people who
Yes.
have less education.
Yes.
Yeah.
To find that they're educated people that still have that share that sentiment.
Right.
That
It's
kinda
disturbing.
Shit, that kind of shit.
I think there's educated people that have that same sentiment, but they're not as fervent about it as the
Yeah,
poor
but
people,
even
right?
if you share the sentiment, whether you're out open with it, whether you're open
or as passionate.
verbally, that just the fact that you share that, it just kind of like takes the
But you
wind out
know,
of yourself a little bit.
it's an interesting time. It's been that way ever since Barack ran the first time in 08. So about 07, ever since he started running, we started to see what this country, how we feel about race. That truly brought all that stuff. And there's been a 400% rise in hate groups since that time.
Yeah, but
Right.
white folks are mainly the reason why he's actually in office.
Okay. But
Right.
there's some others
Yeah. Yeah.
that
there
feel
are.
as though
Yeah.
listen,
But I-
if you are a poor
Ugly.
white male,
And ugly.
and it doesn't have to be ugly,
Most
but
likely
chances
poor,
are they are.
Most likely
Because in the trailer park, no dentist is making it through there.
Very ugly.
See? Point.
If
Point
the
taken.
fact that you have or had a black president pretty much shows you that you have failed in life. Because in a country that's set up for you, that should not have happened, right?
Right.
And you be in your position.
Right. Theoretically, right.
I mean,
Right, that's what I say.
d-
Maybe
like, you know-
theoretically, but that's what America is supposed to be.
Open.
Is
You know,
it?
open. Everyone is welcome.
Is
A
it?
black president is okay.
It's possible.
A woman as
supposed to be.
president should
It's
be
possible.
okay.
It should be.
But the great thing about this country is that someone can do a peaceful protest and not be hung.
Not yet.
die.
Hey,
Right
I'll
now-
tell you one thing
What,
though.
but it may be an
They
effigy.
want
Because
to hang him.
they
But
can't.
who- but it's-
There's nothing
They
can do to
want.
him.
I understand.
But
that.
you have black-
I understand that.
you have
I-
black
Donald Trump
folks-
weighed in. He told him, "Well, find another country that
Of
suits
course.
you better,
Of course. Of
like
course.
he does."
Of
like
course.
like his
China?
shoes.
Yeah. Of course.
Fine.
So that Donald Trump can exclude him from our ongoings, right? Or he can
He's
say
putting
he's
his foot in
banned
his
from.
mouth.
He's not allowed here.
Yeah.
That's what Donald Trump wants to do. He wants to build a wall so that Colin Kaepernicks of other countries can't get in.
But you
I
have
mean, does
black
he
folks.
really
You
want
have
to do
black
that?
people
Yes, he does.
who are speaking out against Kaepernick.
But that's
So-
because black people are the black people that are speaking homes. They
ignorant.
not they are not even remotely aware.
Well, look, I want to bring. That's a good point. I
Say
want to
right.
speak about that because I started watching because this is what they do. Like
Download
you know,
Brother Polite when y'all get a chance. I
Okay.
don't know if you've ever heard. I'm sure you have.
yeah, Brother Polite. He's actually.
Yeah.
I will
Right.
say this: if you guys want to
Download.
download Brother Polite, I will tell you
It's
he's
worth
a
a
very.
listen.
You can learn a lot from him. Bring a thesaurus and a dictionary though. He's a very intelligent guy,
Oh.
and a lot of the language is
He dropped
heavy.
out 10th grade.
Huh?
Dropped out of high school. 10th
Yeah, I
grade.
know, but he's taught himself 4 languages.
Jeez.
He created a language, but you know he's very, very intelligent. So, and he's actually
Damn.
Just check
You can
him
do
out.
that?
yeah, he
He's
created a
really
language from African dialect. But yeah, he
Just
knows.
check
It.
him out.
All
man.
Very
right.
smart guy.
He-
Oh,
you
man.
don't have to
But-
listen. just
That's
check
The-
him
back
out.
to the black people who come. So everybody goes, and they try to pull their black person,
That's a
right?
knee-jerk reaction.
They
though.
pull their black person
It's
and
a
they
reflex.
put him on to ask him how he feels about Kaepernick, right? Because
You talking about on Fox?
just on any channel, because
I thought
white
about that
people
West
want
Side.
someone to agree with them, right? And you
Yeah.
get them. And the thing about white supremacy, I'm not gonna talk about white privilege or racism necessarily. The system of white supremacy has us almost emasculated to the point where you have to feed your family, right? You have a job or whatever. So the best a lot of them can do on camera or in public is say, I agree with what he's saying. I don't agree with the protest. They can't come out in full support of him because everybody has to make that decision. We don't run. That has to be in the back of your mind, you know, because Kaepernick is willing to pay the price. And chances are, if it's not this year, next year, he will be out the NFL.
First chance they get to put
First chance they get. It just depends whether or not they cut him. And a little bit later on, if we have time, I pulled up the quarterback depth charts in the league just to see where he could possibly, places that could actually use him or backup quarterbacks that are better. And if he's not in the league, it will be a statement.
It will, basically. Yes, it will be.
And I know he hasn't played well the last 2 years or last year and going into this year. But there's guys who are backup quarterbacks that have never played well.
Yes.
Ever. Some we don't know. There's actually a few that we might not know what they look like
to be
playing.
a starting quarterback.
Boog will tell you on his
he
same
throws better
team.
than Kaepernick.
No.
He throws better than him.
Now, the interesting thing I want to talk about.
I'm not saying he's a better player. I'm just saying he can throw better than Kaepernick.
It's a whole lot of. It's a lot more than quarterbacking than.
Okay, but let's get back. Let's stay on point with this. The military was the trick that they pulled.
Always.
And
hold on, let me tell you something about the military before you
always.
go. The military pays the NFL for publicity.
Yeah.
Yes.
They got the whole Veterans Day thing.
So,
yeah.
So the NFL is all business. It's all business.
Yes.
They get what, $8 million, $9 million. Some NFL gets, the military pays them like $8-9 million, something crazy like that. Man, come on, man.
To do what?
The NFL it's all about.
Okay, but as far as the military goes,
NFL
they changed the narrative
business
immediately. And I just read to you his initial statements. Then the next day, he stood up and had about a 5-minute or about a 10-minute interview in front of his locker and went further in depth into his stance. And yet, they somehow, I read to you, there was nothing in there about the military. Now, we're all American citizens sitting at this table. Honestly, I've never made the connection with the flag in the military. Until this week, when I think of the flag, I think of the country as a whole. Exactly. I don't think of the military. I never have. And they're telling me I have to. So now you're going to tell me how I have to feel over the flag? What if, granted he spoke out, what if him sitting over there, his way of being patriotic on the bench, what if he wanted to sit with his head bowed and pray as opposed to stand up and put his hand over his heart?
He should be allowed to.
You're telling me I have to salute the flag in the way that you say?
Flag etiquette.
Pretty much.
There's flag etiquette. Now, I heard interesting things this week a lot because I listen to a lot of sports talk radio. There are actually people out here when the anthem comes on at home, makes everyone in their house stand up. You know, when they're watching the game pregame, stand up, put their hand over their chest and salute the flag.
To me, that's a bit much.
That's way over.
I would say so too, right?
Much, right? Like,
not to mention at my house, I'm kicked back, right?
Yeah, I got my nachos, I got my chicken wings, I'm chilling.
Now, Mac,
yes.
What did you say that you don't do for the flag? And your reason for that?
Well, I'll stand. If I'm in a ballpark, I'll stand if there are troops out there. Like if they stand, and they name off the troops, I'll stand. But as far as for the flag, I don't pay attention to the flag. Because to me, I grew up in a religious household. To me, I see it as an idol. I'm not going to stand up and basically sing praises to a flag, a symbol. So that's why I don't do it.
Can I play devil's advocate just a little bit, right?
I wouldn't if I were you, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, it might be kind of dangerous.
Because the reason I'm saying that,
I want to hear this.
The reason I'm saying that is because we don't advocate for the devil on this show.
I know we don't.
Right ahead.
I know, but I like the name Damien. Okay, so, I guess what I'm thinking is, this country, right, as a whole, affords us all of our freedoms.
Mm-hmm.
So why not at least stand for that? Part of the flag that you don't want to stand for gives you the privilege and the right to not stand for it. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
You see what I'm saying? Like you have the right to not stand for it. So does Colin Kaepernick, right? And so I'm not just speaking devil's advocate to you, but to the whole situation, right? Like the ability for Colin Kaepernick not to stand is almost like we're giving him the right not to stand.
That's the great thing about this country.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so even though he has an issue with this country and there are police officers out there on leave getting paid while their bodies in the streets, Yes. That's like, that may be like 5%.
Not even.
Not even. Right? So why not stand for the other 90%, 95%?
Well, he's just he.
And
made
that's
it-
not a question to Matt.
But
It's
here's-
No,
about
even if
himself.
it's a question
He
come
made
to
his
me.
decision.
They made this a black and white thing.
Right.
Well, it's a
He never
polarizing
ever-
topic.
But he never ever said anything about white.
Right.
He said he's just protesting police brutality.
Right.
Right.
Or incorrect killings, right? Or unjust killings, right?
Right. But
These are.
Well, actually, he did say he protested police brutality, but he started off by saying, "I'm not going to stand up and
I
show
got it.
pride in a
I
flag
got
that
it.
oppresses black
I
people
got
and
it.
people
I
of
got
color."
it. And
So
here's my thing.
that extends beyond police brutality.
I got it. I got it. And here's my thing too with that, like gluten.
What was that?
What? I'm just
That movement.
come on, man. I'm drinking my core water. I'm getting my pH right.
That's the same cold water juice you're drinking?
Yeah, that's
I hope
it's clear though.
Okay.
Drink-
All right, go
drinking
ahead.
some different type core
I
water.
got different.
Before we
What
go
I'm
any
saying-
further, Mac, you grew up in a religious household?
Yes.
Oh, jeez, Lord.
Are you sure?
Oh,
Are you?
hey, look. Hey, you know what I heard about Matt?
How far are you?
I heard Matt grew up in such a religious household that on Sundays when he was in church and they was calling for Jesus, Matt used to stand up and say, "Yeah, that's me." Matt thought his name was Jesus till he was 10 years old. He used to say, "Yeah, that's me." Yeah, for real.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't. mean to
I know you
interrupt
did, but forget you.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
But what I'm saying is, Joe, it's just like in our country, right? Like, so we understand that we have all of this, and not to really like take away from it, but to be able to think and to believe that Jesus, himself, okay,
Me?
yeah, not you,
I'm
man.
sorry.
No,
Flashback.
no. No. What I'm thinking that
Yo, you gotta finish your
Yeah,
fucking
get you-
juice.
I
Spit
lost
it out,
But
bro.
what part of the
I lost
flag?
Okay,
What part of
look,
the question I
lost.
have is what part of the flag gives me the right to exercise my free speech?
the fact that recent killings, right, or recent doings
Uh-huh.
is the small minority of what's been protecting you your whole life almost.
Right, but I'm just talking about that flag.
But
If
the
the
thing
flag
is-
wasn't in the air, right, I would still I can still exercise my First Amendment, right? Whether that flag is there or not.
What he's saying, the flag is just a symbol.
It's a symbol. See, that's what I say. I don't salute
a
to the
symbol.
flag because it's a symbol.
But it also represents
No.
it also represents what you love about this country.
no,
And why not?
it's a
It-
symbol. Whether it's there or not, I'm going to love my country. This is the best country in the world.
Well, symbols are
wouldn't wanna
often
be
used to
anywhere
control the
else.
simple-minded as well. I mean, that's just what and there's two things about this I want to point out. Then I want to move on because I don't know where we're gonna go with this topic that hasn't been already been ventured into those areas. But I feel like the military thing is a trick that women often pull on us. When you get mad at them and you call them out and they
And
change
Shut
the
it
topic
up
and you're like, hold
completely.
on, I didn't
Wait a minute.
mean I ain't say nothing about the military.
And just about
All of a
them
sudden you
matching
wrong. I mean,
skill
we
with that.
all seen it. It's a piece of diversion, and it makes people really mad. The funny part is, it makes the oppressors mad when the people being oppressed speak out. Their feelings get hurt
That's
all of a
what
sudden,
kills me.
which is the craziest
And that's
thing I've
just
ever
a
seen.
shame, like an embarrassment, I guess, showing itself. I mean, that's the first thing. And it's kind of like a defensiveness type thing.
It's a defense
know,
mechanism, and it
it
shows
is.
itself every time
It does.
because it's Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter.
yeah.
You did this, I'm gonna do this. But you hit me first. It's just
Blue lives,
won't
green
have the
lives,
discussion.
white lives, red lives. I guess my point is this: like,
What
yes,
this
we've had a recent issue of Black Lives Matter and
Recent issue.
black people beginning and the issues of black folks getting.
you work for Fox, don't you?
But
I don't work for Fox News, whatever,
Yeah.
all of that stuff. But like, what comes along lately, like to me, doesn't write the whole book of what we stand for when we represent this flag, or when we stand for the anthem, or when we show pride in our country. Like,
But it's still a protest.
I stand for it.
It's still a protest, though.
I understand it. I understand it, and he's free to do so. He's free to do so.
You have to get your point out, though.
I'm not saying he isn't, but let's not protest the 5%. Let's look at the 95%.
Sure, let's be happy that we still can walk around.
First of all,
In this country, you can protest.
You're disgruntled. These things have been going on since the inception of the
and that's what I was about to say.
He has to.
The
only thing he's doing is trying to, with the, and maybe it's we can look at his reasons for doing so. We can diminish his
not just him.
Now,
Anyone
but he
that
has the platform, and he's trying to make it bigger than himself.
Yeah,
right?
and not just him.
And he tried to make it. He tried to educate himself before he did it. He tried to do things as well as he could.
Right, and not just him, but anybody before him as well, right? Because like I understand the stances that the Muhammad Ali's and the Jim Browns took and all of that, and I agree with it. But when it comes down to the masses, and when it comes down to what these employees are here for, is they're here for the greater good, regardless of race. Right? Yes.
What are we talking about now? I'm confused now. The
We're talking
police?
about
Everyone's talking about how he's misrepresented the San Francisco 49ers in the NFL. Well, the San Francisco 49ers ownership doesn't believe that he misrepresented.
Yeah.
How about the Ben Roethlisberger misrepresenting the Steelers?
I mean, listen.
He got suspended for 6 games today.
He made a decision.
Assaulted
it meant
another
enough
woman.
for him to do it. I think he knew he would get a lot of backlash. I don't think when it came to light, I think he knew it would be backlash. I don't know if he could anticipate how much or how little, but it's dominated the sports cycle. It's dominated the news cycle this week. We don't have anything more to add about it.
Nah,
so I think we'll move on to other quarterbacks.
Well, let's do it.
Jay took up all the time on it.
I did.
We'll move to other quarterbacks.
And I lost my chain of thought on one of the points.
I don't think you ever regained it.
Forget you.
Next, we'll talk about the quarterback
and forget Matt
carousel. There's been a couple major injuries.
Do you guys know that Ben Roethlisberger was suspended today for 6 games?
I didn't
know
know
that.
that.
Hear that?
I didn't
Today?
hear about that.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yes.
Yeah.
For what?
Yes. For the assault on March 20th.
What
a
assault?
20-year-old in a bar.
Again?
Thank you. See, and these
I've been here. I've been here to see.
See, you wouldn't. That's the sort of thing.
Right.
That's the sort of tricks.
Well, I'm glad that joint came out before my fantasy draft on Saturday.
Well, what you was planning on drafting him again?
6 games.
Not him.
Wait
a minute. What about?
He's got a 6-game suspension. March 20th incident.
Okay, so
20-year-old college chick.
Yeah.
He liked them youngers though, boy. I can't blame him.
This
Young,
is
fresh.
It's the second or third time.
That's when they breasts still stand up and
all right.
he be going to college. He got a wife and kids. Oh, pervy ass.
Did you hear about it?
No, I didn't.
Yo, somebody got to pull that up.
That was 2010.
Yeah.
Why you say today?
So what? He's serving a 6-game suspension for that now?
Man, I think that yak is talking to you.
I don't know. Is your
I don't
phone?
drink yet.
Oh, the scotch.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Well, just so you guys know, those of you who are watching, we're not like journalists. So like if if that joint is 6 years old, he just got a smartphone.
We got a call on the line.
Anyway, go ahead. Let it know. Caller, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man?
Who's this?
Oh, Ed.
Ed, what you want to tell us, Ed?
Yeah, good show, man. Good show.
Thanks a lot.
What's up, Ed?
Yeah, especially my boy Money Mike, man.
Yo.
Money Mike, the one who grew up in a religious family.
Watch.
Hey, buddy.
Hey,
How you doing, buddy?
You asked so many
Why
questions,
you not coming
buddy?
to Molly's donut shop anymore?
Holy moly, donut shop. What's up, my dude?
Man, how's it been?
Hey, just life in the big city. What's good with you?
Man. Hey, guys, it's a great show. Great conversations. It's funny you guys are talking about my boy Kaepernick.
Oh man, you might have to disown him soon, bro. You might get your last look at him tonight.
Yeah, I think that might be so, man. And it's a crazy thing. I mean, I understand why he does it. I mean, am I in total agreement? Not so much, but the thing is, he probably could have chosen the timing better because because he's coming back and he was trying to get back his position because that was still debatable.
Oh,
and,
right. Very much.
He's doing all this because I'm thinking, where can you make more of a point is if you're balling out there and you're doing everything, and then people will take you more serious. But now, people think that he's just crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Ed, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
Yeah.
I don't know you, my man. But does it ever matter as long as you're doing the right thing? It doesn't matter the timing, though, right? Why is the timing relevant when you're doing the right thing? It's always the right time to do the right thing, is it not? Whether you're a starter, whether it's preseason, whether it's a fucking practice.
Right.
When you do the right thing, it matters not when it is or where it is or how significant a player you are, or whether it's the glass guy. Because what's the Muhammad Abdul Rauf? He used to do that also.
Mahmoud Abdul
Rauf, yeah. He was one of the best free throw shooters in the business that actually ruined his career.
Yeah, they blackballed.
Standing.
Craig Hodges too.
Is when you're doing the right thing, Ed, why does it matter if you're a starter or if you are a regular season or not? You know what I'm saying?
I totally understand. I totally understand what you're saying. Where I think that it would have made more of a difference is had he, listen, right now, since, he was trying to come back and take his place back, had he done it when when he was balling out there, then maybe he would have had a better effect on, the message he's trying to send out there.
Yeah, but it wasn't as I think the last 15 months have been really rough as far as unarmed black males being shot. I think it's boiling over, and I think he's just losing his lid. You know what I mean? I think when he was balling, I wouldn't say it wasn't as prevalent. I just don't think it was as accessible as it is now. I think in the last 14, 15 months, man, we've had documented
quite a few
issues to be concerned with.
Yeah. Ed, thanks a lot for calling. We don't want to cut you off, but we got a couple more things to get through. Man. Thanks a lot. Please call again.
I thank you guys for letting me speak a little.
Okay, yeah.
Good show. Continue the good work, guys.
Yeah, call again.
Money Mike.
My
always a pleasure, man.
All right.
Make sure you call again.
Yeah, man. Okay. Bye-bye.
I think what he had to say was great. I think one of the things that you were able to tell him though was like recently, like, why do it now? Right?
Because right now it's
because now
it just
right,
got to that point with
right?
It. That's the awakening got to the point.
And so for him, I think what part of Ed's point was for him was, hey, I'm trying to get my job back. Let me make a name for myself.
Yeah, but that's how they would like to make you.
Well, I mean, I don't think there would ever be a right time. We don't want to have the discussion in America. So time. I mean, for him, yes. I'm talking about for other people. There will be no perfect time because we don't want to have that discussion. So
yeah.
And one thing I learned,
but we don't want to have it, but it should be had.
I tell you, I don't want to have it anymore because we got to talk about the other things.
Forget you with your Rihanna censorship T-shirt on.
People will listen more if it's a starting quarterback.
Of course,
that's at the top of his game.
And that's what I'm saying.
Than a guy that's fighting for a job.
So how many black
why would they listen more?
That's just what society does.
No, yeah. Hey, you think about what
society
Juice
ain't
just said.
Listened yet.
No, Juice has a great point.
No. I'm saying, think what he just said right there. It's a black quarterback fighting for his starting job back, right? Because Colin Kaepernick was in the Super Bowl 3 years ago, right? So he still has that platform.
Mm-hmm.
What you got to say, Book?
That was 4 years ago.
Man, shut up. Colin Kaepernick still has his platform, right? And it's still an argument whether or not he should be the starting quarterback. And Boog, you know that, in front of Blaine Gabbert, as opposed to any other quarterback. So he still has his platform. So it's still a good time for him to make this argument.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still valid, right? Mm-hmm. What the caller said.
Speaking of valid arguments, there's been some quarterback injuries that have happened to a couple of Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah.
Last week as we went.
Wait, who?
Potential Super Bowl contenders in the NFC. Last week as we went to show, while we were doing the show, Tony Romo got hurt. We thought it was no big deal after the show. After the game, he said his back was hurt. He could have gone back in. Turns out he's out 6 to 10 weeks.
Hey, somebody sent me a picture of Tony Romo. That motherfucker had about 30 shoulder pads on. Shoulder pads was all up over that nigga. Oh.
I saw a meme of Tony Romo.
Hey, you heard me, man.
Underneath Muhammad Ali after he knocked out Frazier.
They said Tony Romo had about 40 pads.
Man, y'all done, man?
Yeah, okay.
Hold on. No, I'm not done. I had one more. There was another one with a meme with Tony Romo laying down underneath a picture of the kids on Menace talking about, you want to see a dead body?
Been by the train tracks, like Ray Brower on Stand By Me.
God.
That's actually a Boys in the Hood.
And
Well,
his
no
uniform.
boys in there. You know what I'm talking about.
Fact checker.
Darnell laughed at it,
fact
though. He
check.
knew what I was talking about.
So anyway, quickly, we'll run through this because I got a couple things to do before we get to the show. So yesterday, Teddy Bridgewater
Yeah.
tore his knee up.
Up.
Non-contact injury, dislocated his kneecap and tore his ACL. The Minnesota Vikings have a damn good team, new stadium, potential Super Bowl contenders.
What?
Man, I don't
Season.
see
What?
how they
Yeah,
were
go
Super Bowl
ahead, Joe.
contenders.
Why
Go
not?
ahead,
Why
Joe.
not? They won
Like
11
how?
games last
Go
year.
ahead,
The best
Joe.
team in the
So?
division of the Packers.
Go ahead.
They
Joe.
won 11 games last year.
They don't even have a
They
number one
had a
receiver.
better team.
No.
They have a number one
The
receiver.
way they
No.
play
Can
is
we
run the
pretend-
ball, play good defense.
Can we
Peterson's
pretend
30.
just for
Okay, let's
You want to
pretend.
Let's
30
pretend.
years old.
Let's pretend.
Okay, let's pretend.
Quarterback
Pretend.
is the most important position. If you don't have one, you don't realistically have a chance.
Kaepernick can start.
There's not that many. What I wanted to do, I don't think we have the time to do it. If Colin Kaepernick has talked his way out of San Francisco or played his way,
It's a
or his
liberal
contract
town.
got him
They
out of
love him.
is there another landing spot? Did
That's a
he
backup.
possibly commit career suicide?
No, he didn't.
In the
Because he's
name
in a
of-
very liberal city. The
Okay,
most
so
liberal city
he'll
in
stay
America.
there.
Yes.
Wait,
They'll
he's
keep
fine.
him.
this what I'm saying. Possibly, or
He's
do
fine.
you want a yay or nay?
No, I mean,
It's possible.
let's
Anything's
explore it. Let's
possible.
explore it.
But are we going to say? Do you want our opinion to say
Are you
yay
gonna
or
give
I mean,
us
nay?
back-
this is
quarterback?
a show of opinions.
Let's do
That's
it.
all we got.
I'm gonna say he did.
Committed career suicide.
He sure did.
Looking at
You
this,
say he
knowing
did?
that there's
He
not
did.
32 good starting quarterbacks, you think
No.
he can't?
No.
So it's because of what he did, not because of talent,
15
right?
years ago, I would have
Because
said that.
I got the quarterback depth charts for every team here
Let's do it.
listed, and you want to do all of them? Because there's some of them that we don't
Run through 'em
know.
real quick.
Okay, run through them. Buffalo, their backup is EJ Manuel. Is he better than him?
Yes.
No.
Miami,
Yes.
Matt Moore. He's better than him.
Yes.
He's
that's
better
true.
than their starting
No.
quarterback in Miami.
And
Okay.
Buffalo-
Right now, the starter is Jimmy Garoppolo in New England, so the backup will be
Nah,
Tom
forget
Brady.
that,
So either
forget that.
flip flop or
Scratch
ship
that.
that.
Scratch
We
that.
can
You
skip
already
that.
know the
He's
answer
better
to
than
that.
the
Jets.
backup in New
The
England.
Jets,
He better
Geno Smith.
Yes.
Yeah,
No.
he better than Geno.
That's 3.
Okay, Baltimore, Ryan Mallett.
Yes.
No.
That's 4. What?
He's not better than Ryan Mallett.
Nah.
What has Ryan
Matt,
Mallett done?
what the
He's only
hell?
played like one game.
He's
And it's
4.
He's an
Okay.
Arkansas guy. He doesn't-
4.
Okay.
Who's the
Cincinnati,
Arkansas guy?
AJ
No.
McCarron.
Oh, the hell.
I'll say no just
Okay.
because I seen
No.
him play a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, Cleveland, Josh McCown.
No.
Yes.
No.
Nah, Josh
Pittsburgh,
Allen.
Landry Jones.
No,
Hell
I
no.
say no because
Yes.
Landry came in and won 50% of the game.
Right.
Give it to him.
Hell no.
Give
Okay,
it to him.
no, we're just gonna
Let's prove our point,
we're gonna do
boy.
worst
Let's
case
prove our
scenario. I
Four.
like the way you're doing worst
Yeah.
case scenario.
4.
Okay, Houston, Tom Savage.
Yes,
Who the
5.
hell is Tom Savage?
No.
I'm
exactly.
thinking of the Bama from the Wonder Years. The little
That's Fred,
Bama.
man.
No.
Andrew
Savage.
Luck. I mean,
Yeah.
Indianapolis,
He better
Scott
than Fred
Tolzien.
Savage.
No.
Yeah.
Man,
he's better
anybody
than
ain't
Scott
never heard
Yes,
of?
that's 6.
Exactly.
Colin Kaepernick better.
Okay, in Jacksonville, Chad Henne.
Yes.
No.
Help.
He's not better than
Matt,
Chad.
Matt, leave the place.
Tennessee, Matt Castle.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell
Yes.
to the
And she's
to the
still on the
yeah.
roster?
Matt
That's
gave
why
us
he ain't
Exactly.
to the
Sometimes
end.
that's the
Go
point
ahead,
I'm
keep
trying to
going,
make.
keep going.
Denver, Mark Sanchez.
Yes. Hell yes.
Hell
Not.
to the
Hey,
yeah.
let's stop. There's
No.
no
Yeah.
need to go on.
But I'm sure there's some more
Colin
we can have
Kaepernick,
fun with.
9 out
He
of
better
8.
than Colt
Yeah.
McCoy, too.
Yeah.
What you got? 8?
9.
9.
Okay,
He only went
okay,
through
there's
like
no
11
need to
teams.
finish.
There's
Nah,
no
there's
need to
no
go
need
through
to
all
go
of them.
There's no need to
Colin
finish.
Kaepernick is better
But
than
also
more
the
than
other-
half of the
But this
backups in the
also
league.
is the definition of white supremacy, because the owners are all white. We know that for a fact, right?
Okay.
Majority of the coaches are white. You got quarterbacks like Michael Vick, who is not a traditional quarterback. He doesn't read defenses the way you'd want a veteran to. He reads them well enough. He can, like we defined before on the show,
Mm-hmm.
they say that a backup quarterback is for a scenario when you have 4 games.
Yes, and you get
And
you
you
must win
want
two.
him to be able to win you
500.
50% of those 4.
Half
I mean,
the
are you
games.
surprised? I
He's out there begging for a job.
That is what it is, man.
He can't get a job. You know,
hey,
I'm going to tell
listen.
you the one interesting quarterback situation in the league to me, and I've always thought, is the Jets, right? You got Ryan Fitzpatrick, okay. My man gets his jaw broken for owing people money and serve you, right? You should have paid them money. But they act like Geno is the worst quarterback ever, and he played his first 2 years when he gets Brandon Marshall and Eric Decker and a little bit. He has not played
Sick.
one game with them. He's not started
Yeah.
one game since he had the weapons.
Yeah.
And technically he would have went through some of the growing pains. Would he be a great quarterback? I don't know.
Let
But
me tell
Ryan
you-
Fitzpatrick.
Let me tell you what, man.
How we diminish him already?
Gino is a gump, man.
Okay, well shit. There go my argument.
His teammates don't respect him, man.
That's how I'm about to say.
he
the
looked like
locker
a
room.
gump,
I mean, he's a
first of all, and then he got knocked the fuck
hold on.
out.
This thing about
How
Kaepernick.
you gonna respect a man like
he
that,
rich,
man?
but he ugly as a mother.
He ugly too.
Yeah.
Well, hold
He is
on.
ugly.
He don't shop at Nordstrom.
But Kaepernick has to fit.
He shop at Macy's,
Hey, if you listen.
downtown locker
Hey, hold on.
room.
Hold
That's
on.
the test though.
What?
What you just said, where they shop. You listen around this area, Washington Metropolitan area. When you go to Nordstrom,
Yeah.
when you go to Saks Fifth Avenue, when you
Yeah.
go along Wisconsin
Got
Avenue,
money.
Mazda Galleria,
Yeah.
go in there
What
and
you
walk
talking
around.
about? Where the good looking people?
Hey
shop?
man,
Yeah.
hey man. Hey, some of the women in there shopping, look on their finger, look at the ring.
But you shop
I don't
at
know.
Mate. What, man?
Kaepernick has to be in a very specific offense.
System. Yeah.
Of course.
No.
But
a whole bunch
he's
of other
he's the type of
quarterbacks.
athlete where you give him
But
that
you can
offense.
say that
I don't
about a
believe
bunch of
that.
quarterbacks.
I don't believe that.
That's
I'm
not
sorry,
true.
man. I don't believe that. I got to go out on record saying I don't believe
Well,
that.
you can say
okay.
that for a number
He-
of quarterbacks.
He got that baseball arm. Like he could throw, I would say 90% of the passes in the NFL.
Yeah, but it's a long while. I mean,
Yeah.
there's things about it. A
10
long while.
seconds, 10 seconds after the receiver has already come out their break.
Been open.
I mean, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to play quarterback.
I'm just saying.
Put your brim down, man. Think about it ahead of time. You know?
All right, okay,
What
we
I'm
got
saying.
10 minutes. We got 10 minutes left in the
Okay,
show,
well,
and
let's move
60
on.
minutes goes pretty quick.
Well,
Yeah.
I
let's
want to
play
close the
game.
show with something.
You always want to cut somebody off. just
I don't
because-
want to. The time dictates it. You know, time is the
No
master.
time, man. We can pay for more time.
Time is the master. Yeah.
Darnell just
My
need
man
a
D
little
run
bit
a
more
tight
bread,
ship, man.
D
Okay,
needs a little
let's
more
play the
bread.
game.
We can hook him
Man,
up.
he's the boss. He's the
Let me
boss,
get
man.
let me get 11:15.
We got to get in good with the boss, man. It's only the second
All
show.
right, go ahead.
So anyway,
I ain't got no more
Tell
money.
him to put his clothes on. He in there looking sexual. Looking
Looking extra weak, Joe.
Darnell doing in the back controls.
Okay,
licking
now-
the
Let me say his
windows.
name on it.
now this part of the
Yeah.
show we're dedicating to the ladies. Last 9 minutes. That's all. That's all it takes to get
boy.
you off anyway. 9
City.
minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Is she fat?
I'm ready.
You guys are ready.
Yes, she was. The baddest Joe not seen in the Dominican.
Anyway, there's been an article out that's been getting a lot of pub. I was actually saw it was trending yesterday. What is the most popular topic for a short time? It's an article on a blog called themodernman.com. It's by a guy from the UK, and he got a lot of flack from, let me just say, basically nothing in my mind as a man. And this is where I say, ladies, please stop the fuckery. He wrote an article on how to talk to a woman who's wearing headphones. And he gave 5 things that you need to do. And I'm going to give you what women were offended. They were saying that he doesn't respect the woman's space. We wear things to not to be bothered and all this junk. But this is one of the most simple blogs. And believe it or not, there's a lot of stuff out here like that for men to give them instructions.
I'm sure
And there's actually a need for this. That extra surprise.
I'm
But
sure
here are the
there
5
is.
things.
I just off the break, I'm just shaking my head.
And this is for my man City rides the train.
Yes,
you run
I
public
do.
transportation.
I'm
You
just
go to the
thinking,
gym. Go to the Starbucks.
Go ahead.
Number one.
Go ahead.
Stand in front of her with 1 to 1.5 meters in between you. This is This is the U.S. I mean, the British measurement
metric system.
right?
Okay.
Number 2, have a confident, easygoing smile.
That's fine.
Number 3, if she hasn't already looked up at you, simply get her attention and wave your hand.
No.
Wave your hand. Oh,
No.
Wave your hand in her direct line of sight so she can see it
Okay.
and be like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Halfway.
Man.
Okay.
4, when she looks at you and gives you attention, smile, point to her headphones, and confidently ask, "Can you take off your headphones for a minute?"
I take that. Yes.
You do that.
No, yeah. What number is that for?
4.
4. I'll go 4. 1 through 3. No.
Okay.
4
Number
is my
5.
number one.
When she takes off her headphones to talk to you, you might then want to do what we call acknowledge the awkwardness by quietly mentioning something about potential awkwardness. The potential awkwardness of the moment, right? Now, reading this article, I couldn't figure out why there was this backlash because, first of all, I was surprised that there's a need for this article.
Mhm.
What he went into was the common mistakes that guys make when approaching a woman who's wearing headphones.
Yeah.
This is really where a lot of the backlash came from.
Yeah.
And they're basically calling him a caveman. But the reason why I wanted to address this article is because I feel like a lot of women, especially single women, are boxing themselves in with so many rules, so many parameters that they're making themselves a prisoner.
Yes.
So here goes his
You know
common
what
mistakes.
you supposed to say to a woman when you see her somewhere, if she got headphones, when she pull her headphones out? You say, you know the difference between an erection and a Ferrari? I don't have a Ferrari.
Yes! Oh my goodness! Good night! Darnell, close the show. Please, I can't close it no better than that.
No, we got a few more.
Oh,
And that's fucking it.
Hey,
Oh my
hey,
God.
you don't have nothing better than that.
Hey, I don't.
You
Did
don't.
I finish?
No.
Is there a crowd?
Hey,
Yeah,
no, you don't. You don't.
I'm
You don't have a right. Hey, forget it. Hey, forget it. The best thing we can close the show is after that is Boog got a Pepsi t-shirt on.
Hey, hold on.
Pepsi t-shirt.
I have to say this though.
Go ahead, finish.
Hold on, let me finish with this.
Hallelujah.
Hey Mac, you grew up in a religious family?
I did.
Okay, the conversation.
Holy Ghost set me free. Holy Ghost brought.
And he don't smoke or do drugs.
No, or drink.
Don't drink either.
You know the difference between that and a Ferrari is? I don't have a Ferrari.
Okay, all
Might be
right.
the best thing I've heard all year.
Y'all hot in here.
Say that.
Hot light.
Say that on the train tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Common mistakes that guys make when approaching women who are wearing headphones. Approaching in a nervous manner. Number one, this is where they got really upset. Number two, giving up too easily. Headphones are a great barrier between a person and the rest of the world. Some women wear headphones because they don't want guys or anyone else to speak to them. So if you try to talk to a woman and she clearly knows that she's not interested in talking to you, just respect that and walk away. However, sometimes a woman will be interested in talking to a guy, but she won't immediately pull out her headphones off her head and show interest. Why? Some women like to test to see how confident a guy is by ignoring his attempts to converse with her and then seeing what he does next. This made the feminists mad.
See,
It had to be.
that's
It
the
had to.
hardest thing to judge, though.
Yeah.
It had
But they're
to.
saying that it's
judge
a disrespect
whether-
and all this, and women have their boundaries and all. It's like I understand, but what's a man supposed to do? You can't stop
That's
a man
what
from
I'm
trying.
No.
But you willing to block possibly a potential blessing?
Women,
Yes.
You want to see how hard a joke
Oh,
was?
yeah. Exactly.
Well, they can't be
That's it.
easy
women
though.
do
'Cause
that.
If
That's
she's an
it.
attractive woman, she
That's
gets a lot of that stuff
That's
probably
it.
too.
There will always be
Okay,
another
number
one.
3, not leading the conversation. This is a mistake that guys make without headphones or not. If a shy guy stands in front of a woman is at a loss for words, she's most likely gonna just put her headphones back on and say,
excuse
"Nice
me.
to meet you."
Yeah.
I was wondering if
You could please.
Number 4, here's
tell me
another
where
mistake.
The next stop is going to be
This is where they also got very upset.
sticking.
To a polite or reserved conversation. If a guy gets a woman to take off her headphones to talk to him and then only engages her in polite, reserved conversation,
You
she's
have
probably
to
not
make it
going to
worth
be
it.
very enthusiastic about talking to him for long.
You have to
So
make it worth
basically,
it.
you only have a short amount of time to,
You have to blow their mind.
So you have to say what you
I
said.
You have to blow their mind.
Like I said.
My man.
That's what you tell her.
They don't
Goodness
want. They don't
gracious.
want nice guys anyway.
No, come on.
And
They got
number
headphones
5,
on.
the mistake they make is not including any flirting. So
how the hell can
because
you
flirting
get
is the most discreet way for a man and woman to communicate sexual interest in each other without actually having to say, "Hey, I'm interested in you" in a sexual way. So if you learned anything tonight,
Right.
Juice
Yes.
gave you
The best
the very best opening
ever.
that you will ever get.
Period.
And that's courtesy of the HMG.
Let
Point
me tell
blank.
you what, though. Don't try that if you're ugly.
Nigga. Hey, I'm going to try it tomorrow.
Matter of fact,
Because the difference
try it if you're ugly.
The difference between sexual harassment and being charming is
That's
your
actually right.
attractiveness.
Yeah, it is.
Exactly.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because you say that when you look like
Definitely.
a booger wolf,
Yeah.
Women take
the
it
police are coming.
complete. Yeah.
Oh, that's a booger wolf.
So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for tuning in. We want to thank all the callers for calling in.
Hat low, your
Every
glasses
week.
on.
Hold on. We got 2 minutes.
We do got 2 minutes. You got
Yeah.
something to bring us out
Don't
with?
try to close us out on that. Hey, you know what? I felt bad this week, Joe.
Why?
I was walking to the train station and
Uh-huh.
this lady cut me off and I stepped over a homeless man.
You should have kicked
Why? Because the lady cut you off?
The lady cut me off on the sidewalk and I stepped over the homeless man. Like Allen Iverson did Tyronn Lue.
Uh-huh.
And I just felt bad.
Why?
I don't know.
He was in the way. He should have.
Hey, Mac. Absolve him of his sins. So we can close the show.
Man. He should have moved.
Where's some of that holy
Right.
water?
I'll tell you what though.
Where's some
I'm
of
on
that
the
holy
train
water?
tomorrow. I'm about to tell a chick, and look, I don't got no Ferrari.
No, I don't think.
Nah.
That's how you gonna tell
That's
it.
how-
Hey, look. Hey, deliver it better than
Nah.
that.
Hold on.
Nah.
I'm gonna talk to Juice and get trained up on the way to say it. But I don't got no Ferrari.
You gonna have the Bluetooth in?
Yeah,
Why he coach you up?
yeah. Why?
you
I'm
know
gonna have it joint in my
what's
ear like Juice. What I gotta say?
I'm weak.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. We want to say good night, so we'll go round the horn and then I'll close it.
Yeah, well, you do that, Jamaica man. All right, it's your boy Sitay,
It's your boy Bug.
and that's Book.
Juice.
Yo.
Mac, Mr. Mac. Yo,
That's
yo.
Prezi Mac for those who don't know.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Swerve the Cool Ruler.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, good night from the HMG.
aka Jamaica man.